Mr. Speaker, my colleagues who were members of this body some 10 years ago may recall my coming to the floor on behalf of my constituents, the Hasan family of Milltown, New Jersey, Duri, Nida, Asna, Anam, and Ikra Hasan. They lost their husband and father, Waqar Hasan, on September 15th, 2001, 4 days after the tragic events of September 11th. That night, an angry man walked into Waqar's convenience store in Dallas, Texas, ordered 2 hamburgers, and shot the 46-year-old husband and father in the face. This was not a robbery gone awry. It was a deliberate act of hate based on Waqar's heritage and physical appearance. When asked by police why he shot Waqar, the shooter expressed no remorse. He said, "I did what every American wanted to do but didn't." When Waqar Hasan came to the United States from Pakistan in 1993, he did so in search of a better life for his family. After working in New Jersey, he took an opportunity to run a store in Texas and was going to bring his family to join him after he was established. The Hasans epitomized the hardworking, optimistic spirit that immigrants always brought to this country. They were on the path to permanent residency and eventually American citizenship when Waqar lost his life for no other reason than that he was a Muslim and the murderer thought Waqar had a Middle Eastern face. It looked at that time as if Waqar's death ended the family's path to citizenship. The widow and 4 school-aged girls were subject to immediate deportation. After exhausting all legal and administrative options to allow Duri, Nida, Asna, Anam, and Ikra to remain in the United States, I determined that a private bill was the only possible course of action. Finally, in 2004, Congress passed and President Bush signed this private bill into law, giving the family a path to their dream. A few weeks ago, the Hasans took their oath of U.S. citizenship in our New Jersey congressional office. These 5 remarkable women had endured a long, arduous pathway from tragedy to citizenship. They formally tied their futures to the United States of America. In a real sense, though, this naturalization ceremony was about the United States of America as much as it was about these 5 women. These 5 women were tied to America long before they took their oath. They considered themselves Americans, and the United States of America had an obligation to them for many years. At the ceremony, we saw hope coming out of tragedy, a fair result out of an insane injustice, and compassionate concern out of impersonal laws and regulations. The United States intends to provide and strives to give hope, fairness, and compassion. But these are not automatic. Cruel fate or happenstance often threatens to crush hope and opportunity. Irrational human passions and prejudices can thwart justice and fairness. The demands of life in a busy, complicated society and the exigencies of a complicated legal code can crowd out compassion. In 2001, all across America, Americans reacted in dismay when they heard the news of the hate crime. When they learned that the murderer committed his brutality in retaliation for September 11th attacks in an act of twisted patriotism, they knew it was a blot on our country. Americans felt the pangs even more deeply when they learned that Waqar Hasan left behind a struggling widow and 4 little girls. For most Americans, that was the end of the story as they went back to their busy lives. They thought the wheels of justice will turn and take care of this. They didn't think about the United States' obligation to this family, nor did they consider how impersonal the law can be. On March 16th, finally, hope, fairness, and compassion prevailed. It was wonderful and heartwarming. The people of America and our government have an odd attitude toward immigration and immigrants. Often forgetting our own origins and even our own best interests, we resist diversity and even lash out at others like ourselves because we mistakenly think they are not like ourselves. Our country has a founding commitment and a history of openness, punctuated, I must say, with instances of rejection, bias, and hatred. The historical record is very clear, though, that openness toward immigrants and policies of inclusion have greatly benefited us. Human prejudices sometimes break through. We see it even today. But with this oath of citizenship, the aspirations of Waqar Hasan for his family were realized. We mustn't forget that year by year, over the centuries, the United States of America has moved by means of laws to overcome these prejudices of humans and the impersonal forces of society to create an opportunity and to create fairness. We must lift our lamp by the golden door, but also keep the door and our hearts open.